Ravindra, I'm going to bring you in. What is your vision? What are your expectations out of Industry 4.0 for your business and industry overall?
Thank you. I clearly feel Industry 4.0 is an idea whose time has come. And let me explain. India is blessed with highest demographic dividend, great technology capabilities, fantastic logistic network. There is nothing holding us back in unleashing our prowess. And above all, there is an incredible leadership coming right from the top to give this sector a thrust. What we experienced is that post-pandemic, all the global conglomerates are exploring China plus one strategy. That opens another window of opportunities for the India to chip in. And the government has sensed this, and fantastic schemes like Make in India for the world, also for the domestic market, PLI, are just the right catalyst for us to actually unleash the prowess of manufacturing sector. So I really feel that we are at the cusp of a step change in terms of our manufacturing outlook. I represent a process and project industry, which is somewhat late to take off, unlike an organized sector like automobile or pharmaceutical, where there is an organized manufacturing. But we are quick to catch on, and pandemic taught us that so many things can be done using technology. And Industry 4.0, as we all know, is a confluence of 9 technologies which are at different stages of maturity. But project and process industry has quickly latched on to remote monitoring, artificial intelligence, data analytics, some of the simulation aspects to make sure that the product throughput is maximized, to make sure that the downtime is minimized, the operations are accident-free, and obviously we are able to lower our carbon footprints. And I'm going to talk a little bit more about that. But I think we as a project or process industry are also gearing up very fast. And at Praj, we have solutions that can actually step change in terms of process industry's outlook to technology and help us achieve more in terms of contribution to the GDP. Dilip.
Thank you so much, Ravindra. Ravindra, I want to come to you because when we talk about managing change, if this is a change journey altogether, and if we have to deliver superior outcomes, those outcomes cannot be superior if we do not take these sustainability aspects into account. I know you're very passionate about that area, and I wanted to pick your brains on that aspect.
Okay, thank you. I think let me just say that Honorable Minister spoke about India's Panchamrut agenda tabled at COP26 summit, and we are exactly a month away from COP27 summit being held at Cairo. And we have a roadmap laid out where we have to fulfill those obligations. But just stepping back, sustainability in everything that we do is extremely important. Industry and transportation are top 2 consumers of fossil fuel-based energy and also top 2 emitters of greenhouse gases. So we have to make all-out effort to see how we can deal with the decarbonization of the sector. But I want to go one step forward. Whether you are a publicly listed company wanting to restructure capital or expand your footprint, whether you are a privately held company wanting to go public, or whether you are a startup wanting to raise capital, the investor fraternity will evaluate you through the ESG lens. So we have to now start thinking as to how Industry 4.0 will support the ESG. And environmental social governance is the ESG, which is the new mantra. In fact, already the Business Responsibility and Sustainability Report, BRSR, is mandatory for top 1,000 listed companies starting next year. And this is going to only follow. So as a manufacturer, how are we treating our waste, our effluent, our energy footprint, our utility footprint, our water footprint? How are we conscious of environmental impact that we leave? As far as the society is concerned, are we creating jobs at the bottom of the pyramid? Are we helping the are we being equal opportunity employer? There is a right representation of gender equality? Are we making sure that the institutions and the societies which are working for a welfare cause are well supported by the organizations? That's the social aspect. And the last aspect is the governance aspect. And we are all, when you talk of governance, infamous examples that come to mind is a deep well oil spill of BP, and also the Volkswagen Dieselgate incidents, where some of the incidences were not brought to the fore. So how Industry 4.0 comes in here? Because Industry 4.0 will help process, analyze data at real time. So it will make you aware of, whatever you can measure, you can manage. So the first step is measurement. And then you can probably take steps to correct those, aspects. Unless you are ESG compliant, you will not be able to attract new top quality talent to the organization. You will not be able to partner with the global institutions. In the evaluation index, there is always a questionnaire these days, how ESG compliant you are. And we are going to see that going forward, this is only going to grow. So if manufacturing sector harnesses the prowess of digital technology, and there are, as I said, there are 9 aspects of Industry 4.0 which are at different phases of maturity, and we can harness in bits and pieces to our need, we will be able to better manage our environmental impact, we will be able to better manage our social impact and also the governance impact. So I think the sustainability aspect is a very important aspect and very important consideration as we go into this Industry 4.0 journey.
Thank you so much, Ravindra. Clearly your passion comes through. And I think the element that you brought in of Industry 4.0 enabling the industry at large to achieve sustainability
and ESG compliance,
and
yes.
ESG compliance, very, very beautifully done. Is there a pet project that you're working on or your organization is working on that you're deeply excited about? And what outcomes do you expect?
Well, this is not a 1 minute
One.
question, really.
Yeah.
But anyway, so going forward, I think because this is like Industry 4.0 challenges and way forward. So way forward is twofold. One is Industry 5.0, and again ushering is metaverse. That's a little bit long shot. But if we reflect, all earlier industrial revolutions have given us a lot to cheer for.
Yeah.
GDP growth, poverty eradication, mortality reduction, prosperity, and so on and so forth. But all this has come at the expense of environment. And we are seeing that studies have established that the climate change has roots in mindless consumption of energy and therefore induced greenhouse gases. So we have to take cognizance of how we can overcome that. Second, we have often seen that industrial automation or the industrial evolutions have costed loss of jobs. And therefore, people have mental health issues. In fact, there is already a concept of universal basic income that is being mooted even in India, where you don't have to do anything, but you'll be provided some money back home to only maintain yourself. So these are the challenges of earlier revolution. So the concept of 5.0 enhanced version actually aligns with collaborative robots. So basically robots that interact with humans, they will do the tactical job. Human beings will do transformational job, and circular bioeconomy. So we are talking about farm to farm. So basically bioeconomy is actually products, goods, services made from biological resources. Now, we all studied in the school that, plants absorb carbon dioxide, and when goods produced from plants or agriculture, when consumed, emit carbon dioxide. So you are actually creating a carbon neutral cycle. So we have the next industrial revolution, which is already being tied, and we are working very strongly on, is actually a concept of Industry 5.0 enhanced version, where bioeconomy and collaborative robots are aligned to the industrial evolution to strike a fine balance between people, planet, and profit. So we are looking for sustainable fuels, which is biofuels is just one example. Compressed biogas, you have, instead of compressed natural gas, you have compressed biogas. Instead of gasoline, you have ethanol blended gasoline, is one example. Or you have sustainable materials, the materials which are coming from hydrocarbon route, you now have them coming from carbohydrate route. So you are a little bit moving a shift to a more sustainable economic cycle. So that's the next thing that we are working on. I saw Dr. Matai from ARI also. We are working with them for low carbon fuels. There is so much to do in this space. So I think the future is very exciting. technology is there. How we can make the technology affordable and proliferate to the last, bottom of the pyramid is a question.
Sachin Arora, representing Textile Machinery Manufacturers Association from Bombay. It's very illuminating and encouraging to hear the panelists. Just to add on to the other person who asked the question about this MSMEs, I would like to ask you, where do we factor in our supply chain when it is coming to our farming community? Because we belong to textile and textile engineering industry, also from the food processing and pulp and paper industry. How do we factor in Industry 4.0 from that aspect? Because if we talk about the land holding, the weather forecasting, the vagaries of the weather patterns, how do we factor in the Industry 4.0?
Thanks, Mr. Arora. I think you're talking about the holistic nature of the impact, and I have someone who's uniquely qualified to address that. So that question is meant for you, Ravindra.
No, I think, I just want to bundle up the answer again to, sir, yourself and to you, that, basically, the whole discussion is about how do we make things sustainable. So we have to make a conscious choice for going low carbon materials, low carbon fuels. For instance, we don't see plastic water bottles here. Yeah. Saying no to, carbon cycles which run in hundreds of years. So I think that was quick response to him. Now you're right that how do we make the whole Industry 4.0? That's a possibilities are infinite to actually have applications in an area that you describe, right from knowing the crop patterns, right from knowing the weather conditions, right from knowing the harvesting times, feedstock management, processing time, and then further uptime. So it's a only thing I can say is opportunities are unlimited. Indeed, the issue is whether the cost benefit works in your favor or no. So that's where I think the earlier discussion was about knowing the life cycle analysis and probably cost of ownership. That would help us make a business case, and probably we'll be able to make some strong financial arguments for fitting in 4.0.
Sure.